Live to YouTube. Yay. So here we are. I know it's been a minute since we've done one of our awesome voice lessons on YouTube. Fionn is here with me from Ireland. Did I say that correctly?
Correct. Excellent.
I'm excited about that because we had to work on that a little bit. And we are just here to have some explorations and fun with the voice and see where it takes us. Hopefully, we'll get to experience some of Fiontan's wonderful music and we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Uh, we want to honor where we are. So we're gonna start as always with our breath outward. So we're just gonna breathe all the way out and then S's. So remember, this is our first step of the Oman's vocal resonance method. Breathing, releasing to let the breath back in from the earth. And just let it take you away, that kind of super relaxed feeling, yeah? And so as we do it, it's allowing us to tap into the vagus nerve, release any extra nervous energies, get present to what's going on, really be present with our breath and our body as we learn new things about it as we use our voice. So release to let that breath back in. We might even feel some things that we were being tense about that we want to move a little bit or breathe out in the next breath. Okay? So as we breathe out the third time, breathing all the way out, I like to move. Anything that feels a little tense. Moving and shaking my booty a little on the chair so that we can feel open and flexible. Yeah. And so as we do that, we get really centered in the body. We start to notice even more things, the fine tunings that are going on between our brain and our body. And so this is a great time to start to notice if we are aware of our vocal cords, if we're aware of that area, right? As we breathe out, it naturally brings those vocal cords together. So you might feel a little stretch, a little feeling right here where the voice box sits behind the collarbone. Yeah. So let me know when you start to feel something or if you're feeling anything.
Me.
Yeah, you. And go ahead.
Around, around this area of the vocal cords.
Good, good.
Oh,
And
well, I don't
that,
feel anything yet. No, I don't feel anything yet around here now.
okay. Okay, well, that's one of the things we want to start to be aware of because if we're not, we want to build that awareness, which means that usually we have to do the practice a little longer until we can really sit with it. We're putting a little added pressure with the liveness going on. And so it may take maybe some personal space to really feel into it too. But as you go, you'll be able to tell. We're just going to do it a few more times to
Okay.
give you more of an opportunity because sometimes it just takes a little bit, right? So we're just going to breathe all the way back out. I'm going to keep giving more directions, just feeling down the back, through the sit bones, into the floor. Letting those S's just get you real seated. Feeling your weight on the chair, feet on the floor. Breathing back into the lower belly, letting space open up. There you go. Let the body move. It is not, we don't need to hold ourselves in any one
My my
position.
um my body wants to at a time like this. My body wants to shake.
Yeah, well, let it
It can
shake.
look a bit weird.
Yeah, well, we're artists, right? So, like, maybe you take it as a given. um, We
I
gotta
do.
let our weirdness shine to let our awesome shine.
I do. I do. When I get a massage, my masseurs can feel a little uneasy when I start shaking.
Yeah, because you're shaky. And that's just part of like your natural, like how your part of your
Yeah,
body's always
when
been.
I just when I relax, I shake.
Yeah. 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 So that's good because that's a recognition of your like a threshold. It's kind of
Yeah,
everybody's body's doing it. That some people are more than others, right? More everything. So we all have our little things, right?
yeah.
So yeah. And we're always like we always criticize ourselves for these things, but like if you know Led Zeppelin shook on stage, you just be like, "Oh my God, they're so genius, I shake," right? So never like make it a wrong thing about you, right? Breathing all the way out and S's. And breathing back in from the earth and just seeing what happens. That's why I like to move because my body wants to do stuff. And so I let it do stuff, right? It's part of what's already happening. There you go. And then you'll notice as soon as you
Mm.
let it through, the voice wants to speak. They don't want to say something. Sometimes it's a sigh, sometimes it's whatever. Whatever happens is fine. Okay? So now we're going to do some sighs.
Monifa, Monifa, where are we going with this?
I know.
I'm
I
going to
take
start
people
getting
out into the
weird here.
field. But this is what I do, and I had to be okay with letting my weirdness shine because all the voices are just like, what is she talking about? But that's okay too. That's okay too, right? So now we're gonna just sigh. We're gonna, as we breathe out, we're recognizing that the breath is going out and we're gonna give it a vowel. Our vowel intention is ah. Okay? So we're just gonna say ma. Wherever it lands is fine.
Oh,
Beautiful. Again, when you're done with that breath, breathing back into the lower belly through release, and again.
oh,
Let the cracks happen. That's what's warming up is for. More.
oh.
And I like to say, live into the cracks, feel them out, see what's going to be gunky today. Let's have the experience before we try to do anything more complicated, okay? Feel into it. Let the breath go there too. Yes. And the vocal cords are down here. So never try to bring them up to the throat and push them out this way, right? Mm, mm,
Oh!
yeah, let them chill down there. This is where they like to chill. They like to, this is their calm place, right? So, letting the belly move one more time.
Oh!
Beautiful, beautiful. We're going to go into a couple other sounds so we can explore again. We're exploring the parameters of our voice, the different things it likes to do. It all likes to do it freely. There's always an option, and we're just like being aware and allowing more of that freedom. Okay?
Mm.
So, I'm like in my own little. You have a pretty high voice. Would you consider yourself like a tenor? Have you thought
Actually,
about it?
no, I've always thought myself baritone. But
Yeah?
I would,
Well, baritones have really great falsetto too. So it
yeah,
might depend on where you are and what you're doing, right?
it could be, yeah, on the song and on the mood, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. Let's do this one here. So we're going to do poo. See how that lands for you. So ooh is at the vocal cord.
Ooh!
Another drop. Yeah. Poo.
Poo!
Good. Poo.
Poo.
Don't sing it at me. Just let it release, just like the breath. Poo. There's a characteristic sound. You may use it if you really got artistic, but probably not, right? Poo.
Poo.
Yes. So we're just experiencing the full movement of the breath easily. I'm going to move you up a little. Poo.
Poo.
Great. Then we're going to come down and do some ah. Ah.
Ah.
All right. We're going to go even lower. Ah.
Ah.
So I want your belly to really kick in, maybe even feel that movement towards the back. And like, I'm going to take you lower. Ah.
Ah.
Yeah, we want that big, immediate sound. But we also, again, it's not a singing sound yet. These are kind of what I call characteristic sounds. So they are just like calisthenics. They're not supposed to be necessarily something you put in a song. It's more just so you can recognize how the muscles move automatically because
Okay.
they're all automatic. They're all in automatic. We think we're doing things, but they're not. We're not. We're just intending things, and then our body does the stuff, right?
Right.
Because it's all involuntary muscles. The muscles around the vocal cords, our diaphragm, it's all involuntary. We really don't get to make it do things, but we can choose, intend to make a sound. We can intend to breathe, right? And then the body does the automation.
Oh,
Isn't that interesting?
I never heard that before now.
Isn't
So
that
it's a
interesting?
mind. So it's what you're saying then it's a mind issue. It's nothing about our bodies. It's
The bodies are
about
not
about
even
here.
the only thing that are doing the thing, right? That's how we could connect with thousands when we are in our full flow, right? Because it's not just our bodies, it's also our energy, right?
Of
And so if we are truly allowing, we're allowing all of it to show up when it's time, yeah?
right.
Instead of thinking we know exactly what needs to show up. It's the difference
Oh,
between like a
this is
really great
cool. This is
performer and
cool.
like somebody
This
who's
is
like just really well practiced, right?
this is but well the nearest thing to this I've ever heard is Vangelis when he said uh, you just show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I
that's what you're
mean,
saying.
that's
You're
why I
just
love
saying.
listening to great musicians because they figured it out before somebody told them something else.
Yeah,
And so usually they do it by nature or automatically, or they just like, well, this is just it, man, right? Like they don't think about it, cognize it. They're like,
yeah, yeah.
they know what it is, right?
Right, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that's why I love listening to those guys. All right, so we're gonna do a few more. Ah.
Uh,
Yeah, feel that rumble in the body. That's the more you allow that, the more like again we have access to all the things all the time. Our parameters are extremes and that they mix together for all the experiences. And you'll start to notice now that you've seen those two, you'll start to notice, oh, I it feels more like poo, more flowy, more easy, more ethereal, so I think of it. Or it feels stronger. It feels like, powerful. It feels dynamic, right? Like, and those are kind of the two parameters that we get to play and mix all the time. And they can all kind of counterpoint on that flow if we let them.
it,
So,
at the moment, this is all new territory for me
yeah.
to to just be with the voice. See, it's usually I'm singing a song, I'm
Mm,
going in this direction. To just simply be with the voice, this is kind of new territory. So everything that you're saying, really, I'm not in touch with most of what you're saying
mm.
because I've just come to it's like a new country to me. It's
I
it's
love
like a
that.
new language. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
because the voice
so I'll
is
just see what happens next.
is powerful in and of itself. This is why words aren't always necessary. This is why music is necessary, right? Because the
Right.
words aren't always useful.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so we're just tapping into what's being said when nothing's being said, right?
Yeah.
And that is like where music lives,
Yeah.
right? It's where the magic happens. So the more we are familiar with that, yeah, like the more we're familiar with that, the more we
Oh,
allow it.
yeah. Of course, you have all the we have all the well, yeah. Well, I think most of us, yeah, we have all these mindsets about this and that and the other, and a mindset about music as well, what music should be and what shouldn't be. And
We're so results driven,
exactly,
right?
yes.
And
Yeah. You
even a
go on stage
song
and perform
is
brilliant.
result driven, right? Like you put it all together, you got the right words, right? And sometimes you just need to let the voice be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives it time to be restored, especially if we're doing a lot of it, like talking, singing, and it also is healing for ourselves. So when we are just with the voice, we're being with ourselves, we're being present to ourselves, and it's a very healing experience.
Yeah. Well, just on that, you see, every time I start to sing, I would think 9.5, 9.9 times out of 10. I have an idea in my head, and then it has to be recorded. And how do I sell it?
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
That it has to go in that direction. To
Mm,
just sing, nothing else. I don't know
yeah.
whether rarely ever just there's a purpose. This idea of a purpose or that life that there has to be a reason for it. It has to be useful, so therefore you got to make money out of it, or you've got to impress people. I think that kicks in most of the time.
It's
Most
such a good thing to bring awareness to because a lot of times when we're feeling stuck creatively or even what we're trying to create in our lives is because of this. Because we're our souls are or even our bodies sometimes are is tired of that paradigm because uh, it's not wholly true, right? And so we get exhausted and then we feel like we're tapped out or we feel like but source is infinite, there's no truth as far as that's regard, but it feels that way when we have compartmentalized everything, right? Because we're
yeah,
not connected anymore to that the totality, right?
yeah,
Um so like if we run out of ideas for a song, it's not because there's no more ideas, like that's not a
no,
thing.
no.
Okay, but
This
it's
is
just that
hard.
we're separate from what allows for that movement, right?
Yeah, yeah. And you see, what's happening in my life, I don't know whether this is useful now or whether this is like going off on a tangent. At the moment, what's happening in my life is I'm realizing either way, or this is what I feel, either way, it's still music.
Hmm.
You
Isn't
see,
that
I
fun?
used to get, see, I've been aware for years of this, of this, uh, this longing for something that I don't have. And the, the the tension in my body that arises out of my song not being good enough or not achieving what I feel I should be achieving if I'm calling myself a singer. And now what I feel is, and the reason why I'm laughing is I really don't know whether I'm being true to myself or not in saying this. But what I feel now is that well, it's okay. I mean, even if I am creating scenarios which are in which I think I'm singing, but I'm actually not. I'm just recreating what I think other people might like me to do or might like me to hear. That's okay too, because even though it's, if I may use the word on air,
Sure. I'm okay with it.
even
YouTube will
even
black
if
it out if they don't
it's
want to get it.
even if it's a shitty principle on which to build your music, well,
Well, I don't know if it's shit. I mean, it's the
music
human
too.
condition. This is the human condition, and what music is about is really reflecting ourselves to each other, right? Like it's just about us being human, and we all have to be in this humanness. So to create out of that truth is no better, worse than to create from pure desire, instinct, and and all that. It's just a matter of like my thing is always never that you're wrong, but always are we aware? Like, are we aware? Are we
Woo!
aware that that's our choice? Like, we're choosing to be popular. We're choosing to
Yeah,
like please the masses. That's okay. Like, but if we're not aware of it, and then we're somehow trying to think that in order to be authentic, then I can't actually admit that I'm trying to please the masses,
yeah,
right? Like to be a real musician, now I have to like pretend like I was never trained, right? Like
yeah,
these ideas of what we think means success that aren't even our own decision are like areas of non-awareness, and then we can't choose what we want to create,
yeah,
right? So that it happens, like that's why I always correlate because like the voice is life. It's how we are creating our lives. It's how we are expressing our energy, right? And
yeah.
so there's no wrong way to do it, but we
No,
want to be aware of how we're doing it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So let's just do a couple more sides, just wherever it lands is fine, and just ma.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's do like a moving one. Yeah. E to ah.
yeah,
Yeah. And then let's see if we can do yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yoi, yoi,
You see how it
yoi,
naturally moves back in the body? Just allow it to do more of that. Yeah. Yeah.
yoi.
Yeah. All those
I'm really
sounds.
looking here yet at all.
Yeah. We
I,
just forget because we think it's all coming out the mouth. We're like, my mouth is moving, so it must be doing all the work. Um, but it's here, right? So if we get too far from here, we lose track. We lose control.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying is I'm not really feeling anything here.
Well, that's a good thing. We don't want to, right? Because that's eventually that's going to be hoarseness and vocal cord tension and nodes and all the things we don't want.
Right. Why don't you say
So,
earlier that you're going to feel something here?
oh, I
Right.
see what you're saying. Like it depends. Like speaking, you will. But the voice moves so fast, it creates a lack of resistance. And when I say voice, I mean the breath.
All
And
right.
um, and when that's happening in real time, meeting intention is when we have the least resistance.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so singing like in motion is a lot different than this is my problem with a lot of kind of practices. It's a lot more different than sitting still, right? Or just doing one note. Well, doing one note is a wholly different experience than doing a series of notes.
Okay.
And depending on the series, everyone is different because how they move together, how they are moving in with that ending, they all move differently, right? So the more we allow them to relax into wherever the movement is taking it, wherever those series of notes is taking it, the more we're expressing what those notes have to offer,
Okay.
right? So, yeah, more vowels going to give you more vibration to experience more. Okay? Yeah.
Yai,
Feel that? I love it.
yai, yai,
Beautiful. That one
yai.
came off the vowel a little bit, so we need lots and lots. 1/64 of a second is how fast we process and say it. So you can never have too many vowels. Yai.
Yai,
Yai. Get more of that ad in there.
yai.
Gorgeous. Nice. Good times. Let me hear one of these songs you got.
Okay. Um, I'm floating on the water. She's flowing with me for the day. Maybe I'll bring it up, I think. I'm floating on the water. She's flowing with me for the day. Just flowing on the water. So all things must surely pass away. Her beauty was enthralling, stripped me bare, left me for dead. I choose to stand instead of crawling, to love again upon the silken bed. I'm floating on the water. Every minute, every chance. This floating on the water. Our invitation to the dance. I don't know where I'm going. I really just don't care. I'm thankful for each and every precious moment. Dare to live today.
It's gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so we're going to do it again and we're going to have more breath movement. And I don't want you to force anything. I'm not saying to change your style. I don't want you to change anything actually, but I want to invite more energy, not to change the sound,
Ah!
not to get louder. More doesn't mean louder.
Why?
More doesn't mean pushier. More doesn't mean any of that. What it means is you feel more. So we're going to go back to when we were breathing out. We're going to hear the song in our head. And we're going to see how it makes you feel. Okay? Breathe all the way out. Hear it in your head. Breathe into the belly. Feel it in the body. There you go. Yeah. And that shaking is basically trying to find a way out. That expression wants to come out through the energy. And it may shift some things in the voice, but we're not trying to change the voice, right? We're trying to allow more energy within the space. Okay? It can be soft and more. It can be even quieter and more, right? Do you feel what I mean? So whatever that
What did
song,
I say, Monifa?
whatever that song is bringing in, we're going to let all of it be released with every chord, with every sound. Okay?
Okay.
Can you try it again?
All right. I'm floating on the water. She's flowing with me for the day. Just floating on the water. All things must surely pass away. Her beauty was enthralling, stripping me bare, left me for dead. I choose to stand instead of crawling to love again upon this silken bed.
It's the whole mood, man. It's the whole mood, man. I love it. I love it. Those lyrics are powerful. They're beautiful. They really
Yeah,
are.
well, it came from felt experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it when when they come through, And yeah, like and that is that whole like zone is our ability to create the experience for others, right? But if we're always focused out here, then we're looking for the response before we've even sent the intention.
I really do feel 90% is focused out there. I really have to say
And it dissipates the power,
that. Yeah.
right? Because the concentration happens
Translucent.
within you, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're focused out there, then it gets dispersed by the all, right? But if you focus internally, it's concentrated and you become that kind of lighthouse, right? So this is part of like one of the reasons why a lot of people have a trouble with like impacting, right? Because they think they have to do more outward to impact, when it's actually have to be more clear on your central focus on what wants to come through you, right?
Well, it's quite interesting then that I'm talking to you now, I think,
Hmm?
because that whole issue of that outward focus um, that's coming that's coming to a head very much at the moment. And there's a certain sense of of dying to oneself really, and dying to all that outward focus. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, the totally. If you think of it as like a projected self, right? Like, dying to
Yeah,
project itself, like
exactly.
the self that we're thinking others want to see, which is
Yeah,
something you said earlier that is something I think of all the time, right? Um, it really is that, right? Because I mean, it's not that these things are never useful. There's a reason why we develop the projection, let's say it like that.
yeah,
And we have to continue to be aware of it and decide if it's serving us or our intention of the moment, right? And then again, it gives us a standpoint in which to make a different choice if we do want to. But if we're just unaware, we don't even know we're doing it, right? And so, so that's what I'm hoping to help people that get present, so that they can be aware, and then like either like confidently choose it. I'm acting in this way because it serves me in whatever way. That's usually what we want. We want it to serve us in some way, right? And so and then
well,
owning our priority. If our priority is to touch the masses at a given moment,
yeah.
like own it, right? Like, don't be like, well, I'm a humble artist in the corner, right? Like,
Uh,
yeah, you may
yeah,
be a humble artist, but right now your intention is to touch the masses. Like when you're ready to show up and have people hear your voice, right? When you're ready to perform. There's something wrong with performance. Like it's there is that kind of juxtaposition. How do you want it to read? Do you want it to feel intimate and close? We all have our kind of ideal environments,
yeah,
and but like again, with awareness, okay, we're building an intimate moment, but I'm gonna blow your mind in 10 minutes, right? Right? Like, and let it be clear in the intention, it'll show up clearly in the reality. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, no,
No? Okay. This has been an absolute pleasure. You have a beautiful voice. I'm
thank
in
you.
love with those lyrics. Like I'm gonna go listen to some more and see what else I can fall in love with over there. And I did put your tag in the thing, so hopefully people will go and check out more of what you've got going on.
Great.
And I thank you so much for uh, being open and sharing yourself with us and sharing your voice with us today.
It's been really fabulous. A little bit embarrassing. A little bit wondering, what's going on here? Um,
I make you make
but
weird
I am
sounds, yeah.
really, really kind of, I'm thrilled. Really, is overall riding feeling at the moment. Thrilled
Yay.
to have had this opportunity to tap into the energy you're expressing to the world.
Aw,
Wonderful.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm so glad that we had this opportunity. And everybody out there on YouTube, I hope that you remember that, we are all in our own place. And so we all want to honor where we are. So depending on where you are with your music making, like that's like less comparison, more honoring self in your current evolution of practice of your own voice. I feel like when somebody hears a voice like yours, Fionton, that they think, oh, well, I'll never be that, so let me give up now, right? But, um, you know, it's it's something that you built over years, right?
Yeah.
And um, and even the the allowingness of letting your voice be whatever it's going to be, right? That in of itself is something most people will never do, right? They are always going to try to put something more into it, like louder, like dramatic, all of this kind of thing, and just your ability to choose softness and to continue to choose softness
Yes.
is a talent within itself. Um, and yeah, and it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. Your voice and your work. It's very beautiful. So I hope that you do continue to share it with others.
Oh, it's really sending tingles through my body now.
Aw.
Comment.
Have you heard that before? I find that a lot of people haven't heard that enough, right? You have an amazing voice. Has somebody told you that already?
Um, I did an album 10 years ago,
Yeah,
and it was technically fabulous, but people commented on the voice, and I was, what? I couldn't, I didn't understand that. You see, in fairness to myself, of course, I can't hear my voice the way other people hear it
exactly.
because the sound is resonating through my chamber, and nobody else has my chamber. Um,
Exactly.
so people are hearing something that I don't hear. But uh, no, I haven't. Yeah, so yes, I've heard it, but you see, to hear it from somebody like you is different.
Oh,
Kind
okay.
of somebody who's in the flow. There's only I think there's only one other person we'd say that's in the business that that would say this. All right,
Mm. Yeah, well, I appreciate that because that you respect my opinion on that level, and yeah, I think we all don't realize the potential of our voices completely, right? We always associate with our personality, and so we, by our stories, limit our possibilities.
yeah,
Um, and like our previous experience as well. But there is always something new to explore in the voice. It is unlimited. So
yeah.
whatever you're doing is beautiful. And if you decide to experience more, like that's beautiful too.
Pardon?
If you just decide to experience more, like more facets of your voice, more possibilities, right? Your voice is very dynamic. Honestly, like I would have to hear you a little bit more to even uh, really choose like baritone, tenor, that kind of thing. Um, there's a lovely brightness to it that would kind of ascribe maybe even a lyric baritone, tenor ish, lower tenor. Uh, and and I think you musically you automatically kind of shift uh, timbre, right? You kind of automatically kind of gradiate toward the higher and the lower, depending on the mood of the song type of feeling,
Yeah,
right? Um, and so that's just, again, a natural talent and inclination over time that you've realized that's the choice that feels best for you, right? Um, so that's like something most people would have to learn through teachers, right?
all right.
Not most people, but a lot of people.
Yeah,
uh, but you do it naturally as a musician. So that I mean that speaks a lot to your musicality, right?
okay.
That's something that I think a lot of, especially producers, that kind of thing, look for that because they don't know how to teach that, right? They can't. It's really just the listening, but they just don't know how to teach that, right? So So I think you have a lot here, and I think that you want to open yourself to new possibilities. And I believe it's a direct correlation. If you open up yourself to new possibilities in the expression and sounds of your voice, you'll be more available for something new to happen in your music and whatever else you're creating in your
Yeah.
life. Okay?
Mm. Yes.
So maybe play with some of those dynamics when you did that high poo. do higher, poo 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 poo, high high high. There's that strength of that characteristic, and it's gonna feel foreign because you're never really gonna use that again in music, probably. But it's going to show you, oh, this is a feeling. I don't know if I've felt that yet in a song, right? And then maybe explore having that feeling in the song and see where it takes you, see where it takes the place. It's going to completely change when you add a vowel, another vowel, and then an interval to it. But that's part of the fun. Explore, see what wants to happen.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Mister. Thank you so much. And all right, y'all guys, I can talk forever, so I'm gonna let y'all go. And we'll see you on the next voice lesson on YouTube with Monifa.